Hello there and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's just a really quick one because there I was doing my counts and I came back to just video a layout and sneak peek of one I'm going to video later on today, and I had a UPS man at the door delivering my paper. Yes! So I have got my autumn paper and my Christmas paper. I've been pulling out all of my cardstock that goes with it, all my coordinating cardstock. So I've got Golden Glow, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie and Early Espresso, and some crumb cake and Basic Beige. Now I ordered an extra pack of Basic Beige because that's mainly what I'm going to build on, because that's usually what I build on. To be honest, it's my favourite colour because it's quite a neutral, but it's not white. Yeah, and you can either have it on the lighter side or the darker side depending on what works better with the paper that you're working with. So slightly darker and slightly lighter. Not very much in it, but you know. So anyway, I have pulled out my paper. It's brilliant, it's wonderful, it's even better than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, so we have got, I picked up a pack of the Sunflower Fields DSP. Well, actually I picked up Autumn Fields DSP. These don't come out until next, about a week and a half, 2 weeks time. The Tuesday after Bank Holiday Monday if you're in the UK. So this is the Autumn Fields sticker sheet, which comes with the paper if you order it as the Autumn Fields DSP. Slightly more expensive, but totally worth it for the stickers, because look at them. You've got a whole load of different like little extra wordy bits and some really good titles. Admittedly, if you're bothered about spelling being British and you're in the UK, then you might have to do something with the word colours. But apart from that, that's the only time that in fact, that's the first time that I've really had a spelling issue from an American company. That's quite good. So with fall, I know we don't call it fall, we call it autumn, but you can always have leaves fall or watching leaves fall or something like that, because there are a whole load of different ways that you can use titles. You don't have to use them exactly as they were intended by the person who made them. So this is one sheet, the front sheet, which has got these gorgeous sunflowers on. Definitely a one-way up paper, and I've been playing with it already, and you can tell because I've been working out how I'm going to use this sheet. So yeah, as you can see, I got myself a cuppa and started pulling them out and having a look. And then I thought, no, I'm going to video this and show everybody else as well. So we've got some glimmer paper here, which is rather like glitter paper, but it doesn't shed. It's excellent. And it comes in 3 colours, and there's the third colour. There we go. So we've got Old Olive, Cajun Craze and Early Espresso in shiny glittery. And then we've got my absolute favourite sheet of paper in this pack. If I could have, if you've done a pack where you accidentally put 12 sheets of this in, I'll have it. Or is that a bit cheeky? Anyway, so that's that one, and then that's that one. And then there are 2 of these really small grid patterns, one of them smaller than the other, so you could use them together even, and they would look good. And if you look, it's tone on tone on tone for both. I think this one's kind of based on Pecan Pie-ish, and this one's definitely based on Cajun Craze. And the other side of those 2 is also matching. These are the same as each other, just different colourways. So you've got the Cajun Craze grid on the back of the Golden Glow and the Early Espresso grid on the back of the Cajun Craze. And I will hold that up so you can see it properly. Isn't that lovely? That would make such a good background for a card, was what I was thinking initially with that one. But I think it would also be really good. I can see this one working very well with this, because this one is so plain by comparison, but it would mean that I could have a strip of it next to a bigger strip of this and have a bit of interest on my curtains on my page. I will persist in calling them curtains because that's what I've called them since forever, sorry. Okay, put them there, and then, I know why I brought this one in at this point. I'll hold it just there, because the other sheet that's repeated, I say repeated, it's not exactly repeated. Again, it's a front and back are the same pattern, but they're in different colourways. So you've got this with a white background and brown stripes on the back. So early espresso, tone on tone. And if you look, they're kind of wonky stripes. Looks a bit like the earth when you've hoed all the lines into it. Excuse me. After you've just dug everything up and you're getting it ready for just sitting there for the winter with your new seeds in it. And then you've got it with a brown background. I think that this is pecan pie by the look of it, and it's exactly the same flowers in exactly the same orientation, exactly the same colour, just with different backgrounds. And doesn't it look different and totally pretty, but in a completely different way? And again, it's got the green, I think this is old olive, and I don't think that they've used dark old olive on it. I think it looks to me as though someone's done stripes with a very pale brown, which again makes it look very, very earth toned. And the reason I brought this one through at this point was having two green stripes is not going to be a problem. I could even use them on the same layout and that would be fine. So along with that paper, I decided to add, sorry, blow the cat fur off of it. This is the backing card for it. To that I decided to add, I don't know where the rest of them are. Oh, there they are. Got them. This is where playing with your paper before you start showing everybody what it's like doesn't quite pay off. So for this particular one, I bought a mixing paper that I'm going to mix with both this and the one that I've got for Christmas. And one of the interesting things about this cantaloupe, I want to say cantaloupe craze, but it's not, is that it goes really well with the Cajun craze. Look at that, isn't that a good combo? Colour wise, it's a really good combo. And actually those three together are a really good combo. This, I don't know whether the camera will pick up on it, but it's early espresso dots and a diamond pattern on Very Vanilla. And that's on the other side of that grid. But that, I think, will work really well. And then on the other side of the Mossy Meadow, we've got, it's Very Vanilla with little black crosses on, which if you think back to the other Christmas paper that I was using, she says, looking very carefully for her stamp and die kit that's somewhere around here. Here we go. This is the stamp and die kit that comes with it, which, if you remember, it really, really looks like it's looks like sewing and stitching and quilting and things. And there's this little stamp in it with these dots and a cross. So you've got crosses that are the same sort of shape, and I think that that will go really well with these to extend this kit if I wanted to as well. And then last paper, I'm not really sure about this one working, this side of it working so well with this particular DSP, the Autumn one, Sunflower Fields, but the other side of it will be perfect. Again, let me pull in the Cajun Craze. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's the cantaloupe on Very Vanilla, and doesn't that look good? So that will definitely be used for this. my other paper, it being Christmas, I'm thinking that I might use this and do some colouring, maybe with water. Maybe I've got some Inktense watercolour type pencils, and I've also got some gel pens, and I'm thinking that that might work really well on this to turn these into strings of Christmas lights. So I will just grab out my Christmas paper. Don't need any of the others because I'm using half a pack of the Glimmer and half a pack of the mix-in, which is called Texture and Tone Mix-In. And again, that comes out at the start of September. And then there's this, which is the Christmas paper I chose, or possibly Christmouse paper I chose. Isn't that good? Like, you've got mice carrying presents, hanging up stockings, decorating the tree, and then, oh, I literally opened it just to check how gorgeous it looked in person. This is, again, on very vanilla background, and you've got cherry cobbler, and this is actually Mossy Meadow for the stripes. And then, what's the next one? Oh, there's another one with that particular background on. Let me just grab that one out if I can. That was the page that I was looking for. There we go. The coordinating one with this, if you look, they've just changed what colour the big stripes are going across. So the big stripes on this one are cherry cobbler and the big stripes on this one are Mossy Meadow. I think that that would make fantastic Christmas presents, but it would also make just really good generic backgrounds for all sorts of stuff. And on the other side of the mainly cherry cobbler one, you've got these lovely cherry cobbler bows, which are really cool. Again, beautiful background paper. And then we come to the stripy bits. So there's this green and stripy, which is the same as this green, not green, cherry cobbler and stripy. I'm saying cherry cobbler specifically because it's one of the different reds, but this one's quite a pinky red. So if you've used the ink on your photopolymer stamps, you'll have found that they will turn pink by the time you've washed them off. So on the other side of these two gorgeous stripy, almost wallpapery ones, you have a whole pile of mice in stockings, which I will totally be using, possibly even for Christmas cards. And then these little vignettes. You've got some mice singing, you've got some marching along, you've got one carrying a Christmas tree, little candy canes, one dancing. They're all having fun, having a fab time, preparing for Christmas. And then there are two more sheets. One of them, again, mice preparing for Christmas. This one's with them baking. Interestingly, they've used crumb cake for the background. I don't know whether that was entirely intentional, but they're making cookies. And I will probably pull in my cookie jar from last year to stamp to put with these when I use it in the layout. And then there's this gorgeous, isn't this beautiful? And it's one of these ones where the candy canes are going in two different directions and the leaves are going in two different directions. So you can use it different ways up. Yes, the bows don't look so great this way up, but if you're putting it, for example, on the front of a card and you need to put a saying like Happy Christmas or whatever on the front of your card as well, if you put that over the bows, it's going to look just as good. Anyway, this one last paper, which I did have just now, almost. Aha, there we go. It's another stripy one on the back. It's stripy Mossy Meadow again, but it's different from the other stripy Mossy Meadow, which looked like that. And I think that they would actually, I could probably use them on the same layout, but I wouldn't, because I'm not that huge a fan of stripy stripes. But look at these, you've got a whole load of different scenes that you can put the mice that you've cut out on. So imagine having these mice working at a table, cutting that out, then you could put it in the kitchen. And you could even make it into a 2-layer card or a 3-layer card. So you've got this bit as the background, and then you open up the one with them at the table. And then you've got a couple of goods. You could possibly even use them as labels. I will personally use them as journaling spots. And then there are these, there's this tree, and again you could have a fold it over card where you had them decorating the tree and that folded over on top of it. The thing that I was looking at, the reason why I opened it at the bottom, I don't know whether you spotted that I opened it at the bottom, but I did. The reason I did that is because I wanted to have a look at these two stripes and see what they look like in person, and my plan is to use those across the bottom of a layout, and I think that that's going to work. And I could even use the parcels across somewhere a bit further up the layout if I fancied it. Anyway, so that's just a very, very quick going over the paper that I'm going to be using for autumn and early, well, probably from now until November some point. And I shall see you in the next one, where I will be doing some quilting with paper. Bye!